Blackhawks dropped their second straight in as many days. They follow a 4-5-1 on the road as Dallas gets the best of them. 3-1 is the final tonight. Welcome into Blackhawks Postgame Live with Kaylee Chelios, four-time Stanley Cup champion Chris Kunitz. I am Pat Boyle. For the second time in 12 days, the Stars get the better of the Blackhawks in their barn. We're at the barn on Ogden. It's a hockey bar. Good people here, good food, good drink. Your biggest takeaway from tonight's game?
I'd like to see the Blackhawks get off to a much stronger start. I think the way they end games, they put forth a valiant effort. They're playing from behind, and they put everything out there and emptied the tank tonight. But I think the stats will back it up, too. In games where they score first, they have success. In games where they don't, they've lost almost every game. So I think for them not having to chase the game, making it a little bit easier on their defense, on their goaltender, being able to play within their game and control pace a little bit better is going to help them a lot. I think the starts have been a problem for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, they've wanted to start better in a lot of the games, and it's been flipped on top of their heads once in a while. But the best thing that they did was they didn't give up, right? They didn't die. They've been blocking shots. They're playing hard, right? They had 27 hits, 22 blocks. Like, I mean, the guys are throwing their bodies on the line. They're trying to do the right thing. The same thing happened last time we were in Dallas. They're a good team. They're going to keep pressuring and pressuring and get on top of you. And our guys didn't have to take risks. They just had great goaltending and then poured it on in the third and just a little too late.
Yeah, unfortunately, they dug themselves a hole in this one. Let's take a look at the highlights. 9 minutes in to the first period. The Stars, they get a little lucky here as they send it around. Esa Lindell with a good pinch. It hits the camera cutout. Stankoven then to Sam Steele, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, just bad bounce. Maybe the players on the ice thought something was there and they took their eye off him for a second. But Stankoven obviously had a good game, but his ability to get off that wall with two guys on him, move the puck over to Steele, and he has a great shot. But here, you know, it's laying on the ice. I'm not sure how it got there. A photographer wanted to get a little too close, but the idea that, hey, one bad bounce can't beat us. That's the problem that keeps happening, I guess.
And we've seen when the Blackhawks, again, they had that night in Dallas where they lost. They played in Colorado. They made their own luck. They had good putt luck. They'd hit a lot of posts before. When you're playing the right way, usually things follow suit. And in that instance, unfortunate for the Blackhawks and Soderblom, you know, I think he was screened maybe a little bit by Murphy on top of just kind of a weird scenario with that popping out of the glass. But that's not a challengeable play by the coaches, so frustration. And then the on-ice officials obviously deemed that it didn't impose the team who scored the goal, and therefore, good goal.
We go to the second period, and midway through that frame, a frame that, by and large, the Stars carried play. They win a battle below the goal line, and then Steele's shot is stopped, but the rebound goes to Tyler Seguin from the tough angle. He scores his sixth.
And again, like Blackhawks, they're in good position. There's 5 guys around the net. One puck battle that they don't get here when Steele brings it to the net. Somebody's on the outside. But, you know, the shot from almost below the goal line, it takes a long time for Sodi to get side to side. So you give Stars a good time, good space, they're going to make plays.
And being tougher to play against, too many times they were able to get right in on Soderblom like that. It shouldn't be that hard to get in front of the net.
Midwestern University assist of the game. Hawks on the man advantage, third period. How about Ryan Donato? The no-look backhand pass to Bedard, and what a redirection by Bertuzzi.
Yeah, I just love his confidence. 7 goals on the year, but to come on the power play, win a puck battle on the wall, and then throw it. Maybe it gets intercepted, but for his luck right now, it got all the way through to Bedard. And then again, he feeds Bertuzzi on top of the crease. Don't discredit that pass, but also the deflection to put it in over the goalie.
Donato's one of those players that have been consistently showing that level of desperation every single shift, and he did that tonight as well. Nick Foligno got things going, and that fourth line with Donato was excellent.
So that made it 2-1, and then buckle in. We were in for a great end of this third period. The Hawks with some good looks and maybe some opportunities to shoot the puck a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You get a line together. Reichel comes into speed. He sees Connor with all this space, tries to make a play. Their defender dives on it, doesn't make it through. But again, here, Craig Smith coming down with speed, put it at the net. We get a rebound, make them make the saves. That's why coaches want the puck at the net, cause the battle on top of that crease and see what goes in.
It's exactly what happened in LA too. Nick Foligno, just the defense gave him too big of a gap. He split them, and it ended up being Kempe who threw it in the back of his own net. But similar play, puck's just lying there. You never know what's going to happen when you go to the net.
Tara Vinen sets up Bertuzzi there. This is the play of the game as Ottinger keeps it a 1-goal advantage for the Stars.
Yeah, love that. Winning races to pucks, coming off the wall, throwing it to Bertuzzi, who's going to his net. They had a great push from that last 5 minutes. Had a bunch of guys putting it to net, but couldn't find that extra goal to tie it up.
So Dallas wins it 3-1. Stankoven gets the empty netter. And you feel like kind of a wasted performance from Arvid Soderblom, who once again looks like a different goalie than the one we saw last year.
Yeah, I'm sure the team felt that way in Winnipeg too, where he played 58 perfect minutes, and then unfortunately they let go of the second point in overtime, and he deserved a shutout in that game. So he did play outstanding. They needed him to be there on the second half of back-to-back. He did enough to give this team a chance to win and then some. And unfortunately, the Hawks just had that letdown in the second period, and it wasn't enough. Bertuzzi, great goal on the power play. 3 of his 5 have come there, but not enough greasy, dirty, determined plays, I think, to get to the front of the net the way Dallas was able to do in the second period so well.
Yeah, I love how Sodi's playing. I think he's got a confidence that the team is feeding off of. So his ability to be poised in that net is a huge step from where he was last year. So it looks like another person. It was awesome.
Let's hear from the guys that called the game, Rick Ball and Darren Pang in Dallas.
Well, the Hawks fall 3-1 in Dallas, and it felt a little bit, Panger, like the first meeting in Dallas 12 days ago where the Hawks were behind after 2. They fall down 3-0 in that game, roared back with a great third. They're down 2-0 in this one, pushed hard, got it to 1. Not quite enough, though.
Yeah, in the previous game, you know, a home game against Nashville, a hard game, and then you turn around here and you don't have your legs early on, you make some mental errors, but somehow you find the switch, which, you know, I know we talk about moral victories, but there's something in there, in the room, on the bench, when the adversity hits them. This is good to see. I mean, they are clawing their way back and not taking back-to-back games as excuses, but they had great chances, boy, in the third. I mean,
yeah.
You know, you look at some players, like I'm sure Tyler Bertuzzi would be the first to tell you, man, things weren't going very well in the first couple of periods, handling pucks and making plays, and then bang, in the third period, he has 3 unbelievable chances, scores a power play goal, nearly ties it up with another chance. So you just can't, you know, give up on any of these players because they can find another element to get them to another level here, and that's great to see.
That Bertuzzi had the best chance for the tying goal as well, with a beautiful setup from Teravainen and a terrific right pad save by Jake Ottinger, who is a great goalie, obviously. Yep. Soderblom was unbelievable as well. He faced 40 shots, in the 39 actually, because the last one was an empty net goal, but boy, he's played well this season for the Hawks. And, you know, just the 1 win so far. He has the overtime loss on Winnipeg, and his game has really turned around this season.
Oh, it absolutely has. I mean, you can see the confidence of the players in front of them, too. Yeah. You know, they're not worried. They're not on their heels. They're not thinking, oh, boy, you know, here comes another one. Because last year, he told me, he said, I chased the game last year. I chased saves. I chased moments. And he's not. He's in complete control of his net, and that has been very impressive. Now, the one other thing, and I'll go back to that momentum saying that Nick Foligno had after the game against Detroit. You got to maintain momentum. So you score a power play goal. You've got, you know, the quiet building. You've got Dallas on their heels. You're getting chances. You can feel it on the bench line to line, and you take a minor penalty. Now, a lot of times when you take a minor penalty, sometimes it's just, you know, it's not something you mean to do. But, man, does it suck the life out of you. Now you got to spend 2 full minutes, and they did a great job of killing the power play of the Dallas Stars, but now the clock's really running down at that particular point.
Especially at the next shift after you score the goal to make it a 1-goal game. All right, Minnesota in Chicago on Sunday. It seems like we've been on the road all season so far. There haven't been very many. We get to for 1 game, then we're back on the road again. That's kind of how it's gone here early in the season. But your thoughts on what they have to do against the Wild this weekend?
Well, somehow contain Zuccarello and Kirill Kaprizov.
Yeah.
That's it. The dot-to-dot play that they burn everybody.
Yep.
That's it.
You know it's coming. Try and stop it.
They're playing well.
Yeah, they are.
They're playing well. It's going to be a hard hockey game.
All right. 3-1 your final here in Dallas with the empty net goal. Back to you.
Come home, boys. We've got a couple rounds ready for you here at the barn. Luke Richardson's comments on the tough 3-1 defeat when we return.
We're going to settle this how we always do. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
He shoots.
The great ones always put the team first. New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins.
Dad, I think it's
time for our furnace tune-up.
Yeah, we don't want to freeze this winter.
Maintenance is important to avoid breakdowns, extend the furnace lifespan, and reduce our energy bills.
Plus, Four Seasons has trucks all over Chicagoland, and they can be here today. That's the Four Seasons truck.
Plus, Four Seasons has a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
All right, I'll schedule our tune-up with Four Seasons.
Your trusted local experts.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Make cleanups quick and easy with big savings on Libman products. The Freedom Spray Mop has a variety of features to make cleaning your home simple. Just $19.99 after rebate. Duracell batteries provide long-lasting, reliable power that you can depend on. Save big on our large, in-stock selection. Right now, pick up a 24-pack for just $12.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, I'm Jason Mamone. This is Blaine Halverson at Binny's Beverage Depot. We make movies, but most importantly, we spent 8 years creating Meili, just named the world's greatest vodka. Yeah. And if you can't find it at Binny's, probably not worth drinking. Am I right? Right. Yeah!
Amazon early holiday deals are here. With everything you need to kick off the season. Shop Amazon early holiday deals now.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about our honeymoon. What about Africa? Safari. Hot air balloon ride. Swim with elephants. Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch?
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
We're gonna settle this how we always do.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shoots.
The great ones always put the team first. New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins.
Great scene at the Barn Hockey Bar on Ogden, just about a driver away from the United Center. Bulls were in action on this night as well. Fortunately, the Hawks fallen back-to-back nights from the team from the D and the one that resides in Big D. Let's hear from Luke Richardson after the 3-1 loss.
Coach, what did you think of the start tonight?
You know, I thought our first period wasn't that bad. I think it was more they were really good. You have to give them credit. I think they won more than 75% of the face-offs, and they're a fast team. So when we start out without the puck, I think that's a hard thing. We're chasing the game quite a bit. But I thought we hung in there in the first, and Arvid, our goaltender, gave us a great game to give us a chance at the end with a couple good chances with the goalie out. But it was very much the same as the outcome as last time we were here a week ago or so.
What do you make when your team only has 5 shots on goal about halfway through the game?
Yeah, we had probably some chances that didn't get counted as a shot, but it definitely was lopsided, and they came out strong. Like, they're a good team, skated well, and we knew that they probably wouldn't be happy coming home from Europe with a couple losses, but you know, we're not happy with our last game as well. So I thought our desperation really showed in the third. But, you know, we got to try and get that a little bit, desperation a little bit before that. And, but you know what, the shot count, sometimes it's not as indicative as some of the other stats. To me, like, the face-offs are very concerning because a team like ours is always behind the 8 ball if we have to be chasing it all the time.
And are there any positives that you can take knowing that you guys kept it really close when you finally did get to your game there in the third?
Yeah, I think coaches are always going to find that, but I think our team, you know, what I really like about the character of our team, the players, meaning that they're not taking any moral victories anymore. We're taking a step past that this year, and we're not happy, and we're just going to take this and put this intensity that we had in the third period and bring it to the next game. And I've liked our character and our pushback after a game like this all year long. So I'm expecting that again from our players.
Scoring chances were 28-15, 5-on-5 in favor of the Stars in this one. And your thoughts on what Luke had to say?
I think kind of consistent with what we did say. You love to see the desperation, the battle, the fight towards the end of that third period. But if they had the puck more and they didn't have to chase the game and defend and spend so much of their time and energy in their own zone, having to block shots, hits, you guys talked about those statistics. it's not necessarily indicative of a lopsided play, but it's just not enough to come out on top of some of these better teams, and they've seen a lot of them lately,
Yeah,
Chris.
I love how he just, recognized they weren't winning faceoff,
Yeah.
so they're chasing the game. I mean, that's exactly what we saw. We're looking at the shot clock thinking, come on, guys, get in there. But really, they were chasing the game, and it makes it hard to pull yourself out of that. So
Jamie Benn 16-0, so he might have been the single-handed reason why.
I think Connor beat him once the last minute.
Dallas won 71% of the draws on this night. The Hawks shook the lines up before this one. Taylor Hall was on the Bedard line with Lucas Reichel. Let's talk about Connor's night. He ends up with the assist, but overall, Chris, what did you see from 98?
Yeah, I mean, I know we saw a little bit of frustration here. You got to let players make their play. I know we think maybe he should shoot the puck, but he's making a decision early on what he wants to do. We can't second guess him. I guess the coaches can tell him to put the puck towards the net, but ideally he's going to find Taylor, and hopefully that goes in the net, but maybe next time they talk about it on the bench, and then they decide to do something next time down the ice.
For the third time in 3 games, Connor Bedard got another breakaway, Kaylee.
Love to see it. Just great vision, great awareness, and unfortunately, it's at the end of a long shift. It's a very patient, smart play by Lindell right here. Doesn't take a penalty on it, but takes full advantage of Connor trying to get it back to his forehand. He loves that forehand. I'm sure Connor would replay that a million times in his head, but you love to see him get the chance and still almost create something out of that.
When you're playing with somebody like Connor Bedard, is it similar when you were playing with Sid? You want to get him the puck, maybe what Lucas Reichel was trying to do there in the third?
No, exactly. These great players, they have the ability to, make you focus on them. Here, they make a great play, obviously, but yes, as in playing with great players, you can feel that sense. It was the same for playing with Patrick Kane. All these guys, you want to give them the puck and they want to put you in a good spot. Lucas is trying to do the right thing there. He's trying to get the puck to Connor. But again, when you're down in a game, put the puck on the net, he'll find the rebound. All those things are important to try to find those small battles and small wins in a game.
We'll set the table for Sunday's encounter against a tough Minnesota Wild team when Blackhawks Postgame Live continues.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I saved hundreds. With the money I saved, I thought I'd get a wax figure of myself. Cool, right? Look at the craftsmanship. I mean, I even got my nostrils right. It's just nice to know, years after I'm gone, this guy will be standing the test of time. He's melting. Oh, geez. No. Okay. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Free furnace with the purchase of an AC.
Dad, nothing's free. Yeah, Dad, you should choose a company like Four Seasons. They have an A+ rating from the BBB.
That's their highest rating.
Get a new furnace from $39 per month.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
Plus, up to $4,000 rebates on new comfort systems.
How do you girls know this stuff?
We're girls. We know stuff.
For all the right reasons, call it 664 Seasons.
The $6 meal deal is here. It starts with Dunkin's legendary coffee, a toasty, melty bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and a crispy, crumbly order of hash browns. It's kind of the biggest deal in breakfast. The $6 meal deal, available now.
Body Armor Sports Drink. Real sweeteners, real flavors, real love of sport. Body Armor, the new official sports drink of the NHL.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It's your job to stock the city, restaurants and rooftops, bars and basements. Every corner store. And when it gets tough, you stay driven. Give it all you got, going nonstop for 20 stops. Because at the end of the day, every single round is on you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
The White Sox, Blackhawks, and Bulls have finally come home. Home to Bronzeville. Home to Lincoln Square. Home to Little Village. Home to South Shore. Home to the neighborhoods where Chicago lives, where Chicago works, where Chicago roots. Chicago Sports Network, where Chicago comes first.
Back on Blackhawks Postgame Live with Four Seasons Heat Check, your trusted local heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric experts. Sidney Crosby's now won more faceoffs than anyone in NHL history, 14,838. But it's Carolina who won their 8th straight tonight, 5-1 over the Pens. Of those almost 15,001 faceoffs, how many did Chris Kunitz win for Sid?
I mean, he knows he needed good wingers. I'm going to take credit for at least one a game, and that's 9 seasons. Some of 8 and 9. That's about 700 faceoffs maybe.
All right.
Dealt with.
Not bad math, Chris. That's a lot of faceoffs.
That's impressive. The Blackhawks are in action at home. What a novel thought that is. The 16th game of the season will be just their 6th home game, taking on a Minnesota Wild team that's won 7 of 10.
And they're 6-0 on the road. They're playing the Sharks tonight. Panger and Rick talked about it. I think it's going to be difficult. Those East-West plays, I mean, they have the puck on a string, great puck support offensively. Maybe a little bit similar to Winnipeg in some sense in how fast they move, Chris, but it's going to be a pretty tough task for the Hawks.
Yeah, we saw them a lot in preseason, but the Kaprizov, Zuccarello, we know they have that chemistry. We need our guys to be able to shut them down and then go on the offense, create those turnovers, and get those odd man chances, stuff that Detroit was doing to us. Let's see if we can build on this and go into the next game.
Kirill the Thrill versus Bedsy. That is Sunday. We'll have the pregame show for you at 5:30. Our thanks to everybody here at the barn. Thank you for watching at home. Hawks fall 3-1 to the Dallas Stars. Good night from Chicago.
Okay, eBay. The place for pre-loved and vintage fashion. eBay. Things people love.
Hello, I'm Jason Mamone. This is Blaine Halverson at Binny's Beverage Depot. We make movies, but most importantly, we spent 8 years creating Meili, just named the world's greatest vodka. Yeah. And if you can't find it at Binny's, probably not worth drinking. Am I right? Right. Yeah!
Dad, I think it's time for our furnace tune-up.
Yeah, we don't want to freeze this winter.
Maintenance is important to avoid breakdowns, extend the furnace lifespan, and reduce our energy bills.
Plus, Four Seasons has trucks all over Chicagoland, and they can be here today. That's the Four Seasons truck.
Plus, Four Seasons has a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee.
All right, I'll schedule our tune-up with Four Seasons.
Your trusted local experts.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Don't miss Macy's one-day sale with amazing gifts. Cozy throws? We've got them. Cute pajamas? Check. Stunning jewelry? Got that too. Plus, Macy's Star Money bonus days start Friday.
So hockey's not his thing?
It's only 6 months old.
Come on, Carter! You should probably start saving for college.
At Mestiza, we have a passion for Latino culture and tradition, where each item tells a story of heritage and creativity. Mestiza is located in Pilsen, the heart of Chicago. From jewelry to clothing to artisan goods, Mestiza sells a unique selection of Latino products. We celebrate art, culture, and community. There's truly something for everyone at Mestiza.
In this city, nothing's handed to us. We hustle, put our back into it. That's just who we are. Get our hands dirty, straight shooting, loyal to the bitter end. Sure, we'll show tough love when we have to, but we ride or die for our teams. And now there's a network just for us. Chicago Sports Network, where Chicago comes first.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Pro Football Weekly. Hard to believe it's week 10 already. We're getting you set for that with the coach, Dave Wanstead, the Hall of Famer, Dan Hampton, the CFO of Pro Football Weekly, Hub Arkish, and I am Pat Boyle. Guys, trade deadline was Tuesday. Who had the best day?
You know what? Usually when you make a trade for a player, you're desperate, so you're just trying to trade to get a position. Very seldom, in my opinion, do you get a position need, like Detroit did, was Zadarius Smith, and get a talented player. I mean, this guy is line up and make plays this week. So I think Detroit, when you combine a need and talent, that was a home run.
Well, that's exactly what happened with the Commanders. You know, here's the thing. The Washington is shaping up to be a two-man race against Philadelphia for that division. And what do they have a lot of trouble with? It's matching up with A.J. Brown. They went and got Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. He is just the guy to fit the bill, and they feel like they match up so much better, gives them a chance to win the division.
You know, guys, the Steelers needed a number 2 receiver. Well, here comes Mike Williams. They need a number 2 edge rusher. Here comes Preston Smith. And you've now got Russell Wilson, quarterback, who gives you a much better chance against good teams in playoff-like games than Justin Fields did. I think they had a great trade deadline.
All right, coming up, we'll break down all the Week 10 marquee matchups, including the game of the week, Pittsburgh at Washington. The guys will give us their picks and their top 3 against the spread and their lock of the week as well. We start with 5-4 Denver at 8-0 Kansas City. Broncos' 5 wins have come against teams that are a combined 13-32. Last week, they started a 3-game stretch against playoff contenders, and it didn't go well for them. They lost 41-10 to Baltimore. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, they remain perfect with that overtime win against the Buccaneers. DeAndre Hopkins has been a fantastic fit in Kansas City. 8 receptions last week, 2 touchdowns, and he's helping out Travis Kelce, who had season highs in targets, receptions, and receiving yards.
Well, and Pat, you mentioned the schedule. You know, Denver, impressed with what they've done the last 5 weeks until last week. But the bottom line is they just beat up on some really bad teams. Denver is an improved football team. I don't think they're a legitimate contender. They're a legitimate contender on defense, but their offense is really struggling. And then you turn around and look at the Chiefs. It doesn't matter what they do. They just win. You know, they're not playing well on offense. They're playing really well on defense. But Mahomes will make a play to win a game for you. That's what he does.
Yeah, I think both of these teams are very similar. You know, I look for this to be a low-scoring game. They both, at this point in the season, are relying on their defense. You know, yeah, Denver fell off a little bit last week, sure, but they're still a top 10 defense. And, yeah, I mean, what they really major in is stopping the run. That's kind of what the number one thing they take away. So they'll do that on Kansas City and kind of make them one-dimensional and see what happens there. And Bo Nix, you know, I mean, Bo Nix was Rookie of the Month last year. Does he have great numbers? No, I think it's 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But with that being said, the guy's getting better every week. He is a threat with his feet, which is something that the Chiefs will have to work on defensively and take into account. It's going to be a tough one. Denver has to play clean. Penalties, turnovers, field position, they got to play clean. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, they got to play a perfect game just to kind of get into the fourth quarter, hopefully staying close to the Chiefs. But the Chiefs, very efficient football team. They're remarkable. You know, they hang around to the last quarter, find a way to make some plays, just make the last bucket, and keep winning. They have won 14 consecutive games, and now their quarterback is finding a groove with DeAndre Hopkins. So this is going to be even more scarier for the opponents down the stretch.
Everybody is going with Kansas City to remain perfect. Next up, 7-2 Buffalo at 4-5 Indy. Last week, the Bills scored on each of their final 5 drives versus the Dolphins and won the game on a 61-yard field goal. Buffalo's offense is humming. They've scored 30-plus points in 3 straight games. It's not the case for the Colts. They were held to 0 offensive TDs last week, and they are staying with Joe Flacco as quarterback 1, Hub.
Well, guys, if the awards were being awarded this week for the end of the season, I'd have to think about Josh Allen as the MVP. He's having that kind of year. I'm not saying he is the MVP, but he's having that kind of season. And then the trade for Amari Cooper. You know,